South of Midnight is made by Compulsion Games. These are the same developers that made We Happy Few, which I wasn't a big fan of for one reason or another. Since this game was announced, I had it on my radar and it became one of my most anticipated games of 2025. Now that it's out, I played it and here are my first impressions. First of all, the story is decent so far. It moves us along through a storybook format. I like the format because it's a little easier for me to follow along with the story. It starts off with the main protagonist named Hazel being in her room reminiscing about old times, while waiting for her mom to get back home from work while driving through a rough storm. We get a sense of her personality. We know she used to run track and her team was also pretty good. She's young and still lives at home with her mom and is still trying to figure out life. You get the partial surroundings in the home, and a few minutes later, Hazel's mom shows up. As they are getting ready to evacuate and pack things away, Hazel and her mom get into it and Hazel leaves to check up on a couple of neighbors. Moments later, Hazel sees her home getting washed away in a hurricane with her mom still in it. Now, filled with guilt and fear, wishing she could change the past, Hazel is determined to find her mother while learning about her family history, gaining weaving magic powers, and battling mythical creatures to do it. I really like how the game looks. They went with this unique stop motion style that seems off-putting at first but fits well with the gameplay. Although you are in a swampy environment, the colors definitely pop within any area. The sunsets are some of the best scenery you will see in a video game. I can definitely see them winning an award for best art direction. I love when games make an emphasis on certain characters and or items that stand out in the game. They do that well when you run into a couple of characters such as the giant catfish. I just think everything fits well when it comes to the design of the game, and that's a strong factor in keeping me wanting to play it. The fact this game doesn't have a photo mode is flagrant to the third degree. I found myself running through the world wanting to take screenshots but notice that they don't have a photo mode. That is egregious. Make sure y'all put a photo mode in the game real soon because man, y'all definitely need it. This game is beautiful. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Just for reference, I am only 3 hours into the game, so I only unlocked a few abilities within the skill tree. So far though, the combat is just okay. You have the standard combo where you tap X and do a sequence of attacks, but after a while it starts to get repetitive. It's still fun, but do expect to see some of the same attack patterns. Once you get abilities, it opens up for you to do a few extra combos. Now about the abilities and combos, the initial attacks feel good, but when you use your abilities, it doesn't flow as well because the cooldowns are a few seconds too long. Also, whenever I'm trying to dodge, the controls feel unresponsive at times. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that is just an issue with the game. Whatever it is, I don't like it and I hope that gets fixed before I eventually end up finishing it. Speaking of finishing the game, South of Midnight is only 10 to 12 hours long. I think that's perfect and I wish more games came out with a shorter playtime and conciseness. Takes us from point A to B but still leaves us enough room to find items and collectibles. Platforming could be better. I find it a bit janky at times when I'm trying to climb or run and jump on certain surfaces. It isn't the worst but could use a little improvement for sure. I will say, as you're progressing through the game, they give you abilities along the way for just playing and they help you move forward. I think because it is so short and linear, they don't make you do any unnecessary tasks that slows down the progression of the game, which I think in South of Midnight, the pacing is pretty good. Each chapter seems to be about an hour long, more or less, so if you really wanted to, you could beat this within 2 days. Two of the most fun mechanics in this game are the perfect dodge and gliding. That glide makes it easier and more fun to traverse through the world. You can glide and lead that into a wall run in certain areas and the transition is really smooth. I'm not mad at the game that throws a glide in it as long as it works, and in this game, it does. Perfect dodging is great in this game and one of the few combat abilities that don't have a cooldown. This is one of the things that keep the combat at a good pace because enemies are always attacking, sometimes multiple attacks at the same time. Just one more thing, I hope I see more enemy types in the game. I haven't fought against a boss yet, so I don't know what that entails, but from what I fought against so far, it seems as though there isn't much of a variety for the enemies, but I am only 3 hours in, so we shall see. The voice acting is pretty damn good. They really embody what folks from the Deep South sound like. The accents sound very real, and I was surprised to find out that for some of these voice actors, it was their very first voice acting job. They did their damn thing because honestly, I couldn't tell. Sounds like they really got some folks from Louisiana and put them in the booth. They really brought each character to life from what I've heard so far. They know exactly how to capture you and keep you immersed through every word they speak. The cast sounds really good overall, and I can't wait to hear more voices throughout the rest of the game. Overall, I like the game so far. The game isn't that long, the skill tree is small, which I think works in the favor of the game, and it knows exactly what it wants to be. I'm loving the black representation, and you can tell this is one for the culture without a doubt. The game is relatable just from the use of AAVE. I hope the game gets better the more I progress through the story, and I know I'm in for one hell of a ride. If you you are looking for more games to play or need a small push to make a purchase on the game, consider watching my other first impression videos about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is the card on the left. Or if you're looking for a more power fantasy, consider watching my first impressions video on Avowed. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and comment what you think about South of Midnight, only if you played it. Peace.